Hey guys, back here with another video. Alright, so this video is going to focus on how to make money in Black Desert. So there are two main ways of making money. You have active and passive income. Now active income can be divided into three different main ways. You have grinding, which is the most obvious. You just kill monsters and either pick up the drops or have your pets pick up the drops and sell those and turn in the turn-ins. You have gathering, which is what I'm headed to do now. And you have active fishing, which means instead of having your character automatically reel in the fish after 3 minutes, as soon as you get the fish on the hook, you can play a little mini game and reel it in. Now there's also passive income, and passive income is where most of your income will probably come from in the game. Because no matter how much you grind, you're probably not going to grind for more than 3 or 4 hours a day unless you're extremely hardcore. Now passive income can be divided into 4 main ways. There's processing, fishing, your worker empire, and cooking, as well as alchemy. And these can be used for imperial cooking, which is how you make money through cooking. You generally don't make money by actually cooking items, unless you're cooking night rations or other useful PvP food. Now, to give a quick overview of these, grinding, as we just said, is literally just that. You kill monsters, you kill them in good spots into the quick rotation, and you have multiple pets out to help you pick up items, and then you sell the turn-ins and the items on the marketplace, and you'll make money. Grinding, usually as a decently geared level 56, even as a fresh 56, you'll probably make anywhere between 5 and 10 mil an hour. Once you get a bit better geared, you can make more. You can make up to about 15 mil an hour in the good spots, such as Sausins and Pirates. Gathering is exactly what it sounds like. You go and gather. You use your energy, so if I just up here, your energy, which you get from knowledge. So by talking to any of those little silver exclamation marks, it will pop up on your mini-map over here. You'll get knowledge. You can bring up your knowledge with H, and you can complete the various knowledges. For example, if we go to topography, Balanos, Western Balanos, it'll have you go to different places such as Alvia and fill out the energy topics here. You can press on Alvia, and then once you go in, you can look for the knowledge that you need to get and get the knowledge. And then you use that to gather. And gathering is, you'll need a gathering tool for it. So for example, I've got a hatchet equipped, a nice shining steel lumbering axe. I'm going to the Pilgrim's Haven, so I'm going to be using pickaxes. There's also fluid collectors if you want to collect blood or sap from trees. And there's hoes for collecting wheat. There's also butcher's knives, which are really good if you want to kill sheep for money. Sheep are pretty good money if you want to butcher their meat. I'm trying to figure out where I am. Probably a little west of where I want to be, or east of where I want to be. And then active fishing, it can make you good money if you get luckier. It's pretty easy to do. It's almost semi-AFK really. You just kind of throw out your fishing line, and whenever you get a bite, you can reel it back in by playing the minigame. And obviously it'll make you money faster than AFK fishing will, but it's still not exactly an optimal way unless you really like fishing. Or unless you're going to hotspots in the Ross Sea. If you're doing that, you can actually make quite a bit of money. This one. So this is gathering. You just equip the proper tool, go to the final place where where the items you want to gather are. There's plenty of guides on Google to gathering any specific item. And you get at it. Pilgrim's Haven here is the best place in the game for mining rough rocks. It's in the desert, so if I just kind of show it here, it's pretty much just east and a little bit north of Sandgreen Bazaar, which is the first town you'll find in the desert, which is east of Altanova. So this is where you'll come if you want to do any rough stone grinding whatsoever. If you need rough stone, come to Pilgrim's Haven. Now as for passive income, there are 4 major ways to get passive income. There's processing and fishing, which are the majority of what most people do. There's your worker empire, which will be going on no matter what. As long as you're online, your workers will be working. You just need to supply them with beer or any other food that restores their stamina. And there's cooking, which you can either cook for items to sell directly to other players, such as Serenity Night Rations, or you can cook items such as honey wine. Speak of the devil right there. Start Imperial Craft and Fish Delivery. You can do things like cook honey wine, which I bring up my Heidel storage here. So you cook honey wine right here using essence of liquor, and then once you're at artisan cooking, you can turn them into artisan's honey wine cooking boxes, which you can turn in to imperial cooking for good money. Now, processing and fishing are the two major ways of earning AFK money. You have to have your computer online, just like you do for your workers. However, each of them requires a different investment. Let me just find, here we go. Processing, you want weight. You want as much weight as you can possibly get. This is my processor, so as you can see, I've got, without wearing any weight gear, just a belt, I have 1,239 weight. That is all 4 of the cash shop weights. And I have also managed to buy the loyalty weight on this character 3 times. I can only buy it 1 more time. And you want to do this because processing, especially if you have the maid outfit, which my character is wearing right here, which is the processing outfit, it's called the Venicil dress. And then there's the same thing for males, but it's not a maid outfit, obviously, it's a butler outfit. And what that allows you to do is this will literally double your income from processing. Because how processing works is you take an item, for example, rough stone, and then you press L, and that brings up your processing menu right here. And then you grind, chop, dry, whatever you need to do, heat. So you heat ores, you can grind rough stones, you can chop wood, and once you get to Artisan 2 or 3 processing, the rate at which you use up your materials and gain the byproducts from them will be 2 to 1. You will use 5 timber to create, on average, over a session, 2.5 planks. And then you will use those planks to create plywood. And because the processed materials have the exact same weight as the base material does, so if I'm, for example, using copper ore, and I want to make copper, I can just show you right here. If I heat copper, so you can see I've got 24 copper ore right here, and then once this finishes, I will gain a melted copper shard. So I gained 3 right there, which is a bit above the average. And so the melted copper shard has a weight of 0.3, same as the copper ore. What this means is that if you do not have the processing outfit, you can only process half of your inventory's worth every night, because you'll have to have all the items in your inventory to start with. You will need all the copper you want to process in your inventory. Oops, just get away from that. The processing outfit, what it does, the reason it literally doubles it, is it lets you process from your storage, which means that you can have the items in your storage to process, not in your inventory, which means you can process until you've filled up your entire inventory. That is why the processing outfit doubles the amount you can process. And at any time you're processing, it'll double the amount you can process before you finish processing. Now this isn't really a concern during the day if you're just at your computer, because you don't need to worry about filling up your inventory. You can just check in and deposit it into your storage and then continue processing after taking new things out of your storage. This is a problem when you're processing overnight or when you're at work or something, because you will only be able to get half the processing done as you would have. If you can process for 4 hours without stopping without the outfit, it'll let you process for 8 hours with the outfit. That's why it's such a big investment. So weight and outfit, that's what you need for processing. And then what you process is you process timber and ore. You process ore into coal, brass, and bronze, and you can process any timber up to plywood. Do not process past plywood, you will lose your money. It will not, the item past that will not sell. I can really look in with the hypothermia procs here. Fishing, on the other hand, requires an investment into inventory. If you are fishing and you want to become a fisherman, you need to max out your inventory, and you'll probably want to get yourself the fishing outfit as well, because the fishing outfit improves the speed at which you fish. You'll also probably want to buy yourself a brandstone for 400 pearls. And what a brandstone does is, brandstone is kind of like, brandstone is to fishing rods what the processing outfit is to processors. It halves the durability. A branded item loses only half the durability as a normal item will. And because a fishing rod loses 1 durability every time you fish, that means you can fish twice on that 1 durability on a branded rod. Now, it's not as important as the processing outfit, because if you upgrade a Balanos or a Fairy Rod high enough, you won't use up all the durability overnight anyways, at least on the Fairy Rod. The Balanos rod you might if you have a max inventory though, so you'll probably want to brand that. The fishing outfit will improve the speed at which you fish, and because fishing is better over long periods of time, such as 8-hour periods rather than the 4 or 5-hour period that processing takes, fishing is recommended if you are only able to check in once or twice a day. So if you want to invest in just one of these, basically ask yourself if you're online all the time, every 3 or 4 hours, or if you can remote in from work, for example, if you can use a program such as Chrome Remote Viewer or Remoter to remote in from work to restart processing, then you should go processing. If you are someone that sleeps 8-9 hours a day and then goes to work and cannot use their phone to access BDO or their computer for another 8 or 9 hours, fishing is probably better for you. Now, past that, your worker empire, I'll touch on that briefly, but that deserves its own video really. Your worker empire is, you want to make the same thing. If you're able to check in every 2 to 3 hours, goblins are the best, because you have 3 types of workers: goblins, humans, and giants. Goblins have the least stamina, which means it takes 1 stamina to do a task once, so about 20-30 minutes for a goblin to do the task once. However, they do the task the fastest, and they have the fastest move speed. So if you have a task that makes you a lot of money, if you can do it a lot of times, and you can check in every 3 or 4 hours, goblins are probably the best. If you can check in every 5 or 6 hours, you probably want humans. Even every 7 or 8 hours, humans probably, because humans have twice the stamina of goblins, 17 as compared to 8, which means they can go twice as long, and they'll go for a bit more than twice as long because they're slower than goblins. However, humans are also faster than giants, who have the most stamina by far. However, giants are the slowest. There are tons of charts and resources online to check what optimal workers are for each node and for where you want them. For example, some nodes you do want a giant on, because a giant will have the same speed as a goblin based on how the game calculates work speed and movement speed. So some nodes are actually better to have a giant on than a goblin. Other nodes are better to have a goblin on. Other nodes are better to have humans on. So I'll include some links in the description of the video. You can check them out. Tons of stuff online for optimizing your worker empire, but you should definitely set that up as soon as possible. Do some cooking to gain CP, because your worker empire will be making you money no matter whether you're active grinding or passive AFK processing, fishing, no matter what. Now, there are also a few hybrid ways of making money, and these are trading, training, horse training, and your guild pay. So guild pay is basically the same as your house fame. You'll get it as long as you log in. You can get it. You have to claim it. You go to G, guild member status, and you can press collect money there. So I just claimed it to the bag because I'm not near a storage. If you're in a safe zone, you can just claim it right to your storage. And the reason I say it's a hybrid is because for you to earn more money in your guild, you have to do some work. You have to put in the work, join in on the guild quests, and help out with the guild. However, once you have maxed out your guild contribution, you no longer need to do any work. And claiming the money, even if you've never done any work before, you will still get a base pay from your guild. Now, the way that that works is when you join your guild, go to your guild member status, you'll have an activity rating. So I only just joined this guild a few days ago, so my activity rating is pretty low right now, and there's 2 numbers. The first number is the total activity rating you've acquired during your time in that guild, and the second one is your total activity acquired since your last contract renewal. And this is the important one, because this determines how much you've made. The higher the number is, the more you're probably going to be making from your guild. But this one is the one that is a little tricky. So how the guild pay works is you start off at a base pay, usually 10,000 silver per day, and you have to claim that. And then every time you get a raise, every time you get your contract renewed, it will go up by a percentage of your current pay. So if you're at 10,000 and you max out at 10,000 points here, you will go up by 100%, and you will get a new base pay of 20,000 silver. And the amount you get as a raise is 1% for every 100 activity points right here for this number. So plus 10,000, 100%, plus 5,000, 50%, plus 0, you're not even getting a new contract, 0%. So that's why that's a little bit of a hybrid. Trading is, you have to manage it. You have to level your trading. You probably want to be doing an AFK processor because you will be using processed materials to create trade items, trade crates, and then you're going to need to grind your trading all the way up to Master 2, and you're probably going to want to grind it a bit higher, but Master 2 is where it starts to become really profitable. And then you're going to have to start doing trading. And trading, the most simple explanation is you take a good from one town's trade manager to another town's trade manager, and you get paid based on the distance and the item. And there's tons of guides on trading. If you look at Biohack, he has these amazing trading guides. He also, if you become a processor, you're probably going to want to look at Biohack as well, because he has a spreadsheet that shows the current price of materials. And, not materials, sorry, of processed outputs. So if you're processing steel and you want to know what the market price is, and you can only see a bunch of underpriced steel in the market, just look at Biohack's spreadsheet, and it will show you the current price that he is paying for steel, which is usually the fair market price. And then the last one is horse training. So horse training is just like processing and fishing. It is another life skill. The reason it's a hybrid life skill is because unless you're willing to buy all your horses off the market, which can be flaky, you are going to need to go out and catch horses. It is mostly AFK though, because you only need to catch a few horses a day, and then you can spend time breeding them and training your good ones. So training, it's not as good a moneymaker as processing or fishing. It's very luck dependent, and it is simultaneously the most expensive and least expensive life skill in the game if you want to get into it. Because processing, if you want to really get into it, you'll want to buy the maid outfit and full weight. Fishing, if you want to really get into it, you'll want to buy full inventory and the fishing outfit, as well as branding your rod. And for horse training, just getting into it costs nothing. Same as processing and fishing, just getting into them costs nothing. However, training, if you get lucky, you never need to spend anything, because the items for horse trainers, you can see them all in the horse trainers package. Can you? Oh yeah, so here's two of them. You got your horse breeding reset. For females and males, which is important because you can only breed a male horse twice and a female horse once, and then you can breed each of them in one more time by basically killing off the horses. Which, I mean, you'll want to do it quite often once you get your stuff set up. However, you do lose the horse. And then you've also got mount skill change coupons, which is important because how a horse's value is determined is based on its skills. If I jump on my horse here and look at its skills, my horse has drift and sprint, as well as start excel and a few other things that are decent. And drift and sprint, along with charge and instant excel, are the big ones that make a courser. A T8 courser has all four of those skills. And those are the big money horses, the ones worth more than 100 million silver. This horse, the one I just showed you, is worth 20 million silver. So if you get lucky with horse training, you can actually make a lot of money in one shot. Same with if you want to grind ogres. If you want to grind ogres, go ahead. They're not very good money, but if you do get lucky, you can get an ogre ring on your first drop, and then, hey, you're making 90 mil in every 2 minutes. Obviously, that's not how it works, so I don't recommend it. But horse training, if you want to breed horses, is a viable way of making money. Not as fast as processing and fishing, but it is a viable way. Now, for someone that doesn't want to spend any money in the game, you still haven't decided if you want to, you're saving money for pets first, whatever the reason, I would recommend for AFK money making to do fishing. Because fishing, you get inventory slots for free by doing the Black Spirits quests. You get, I want to say, 70 inventory spots for free. I've bought inventory in this character once, but I haven't quite finished all the inventory quests. And then 70 inventory spots is okay. It means you won't need to buy a brandstone for your rod because you'll fill up overnight no matter what. It means that you don't need to buy the fishing outfit. You will want to buy the fishing life skill clothes, and you'll want to do that no matter what you're doing. For cooking, definitely get the cook's one. That's extremely important. For processing, you'll want to wear the processing outfit whenever you're processing near your computer, so for 2 or 3 hour stints, because it increases your speed and it increases the XP you get. Which, XP isn't that important, but, you know, it's nice to raise your level in it for the house fame. The trader's outfit just increases your weight limit, which is nice to have. It's not quite as good as using weight armor, such as the Zenith armor with the Hercules set. However, it is a lot easier. It's not cheaper, but it weighs less, and the base one is cheaper if you just want the base plus 100 LT. And then the fishing outfit is pretty important for fishers. So for fishing and gathering, I guess I should mention this now, you'll want to have maximum speed for both of them. You'll want to have level 5. And joining a guild offers, most guilds will upgrade to at least +2. So you can get +2 gathering, +2 fishing. You can get up to +3. Life skill guilds will have +3 usually. And then if you combine, for example, the +2 gathering there with my gathering outfit here, I haven't even upgraded my gathering outfit, so it's only +1. And then you use a food buff. So for example, find the Balanos meal here. Yeah, here it is. Movement speed 2, fishing speed 2, gathering speed 2. You can really easily get to +5. And for overnight fishing, you'll want to have an upgraded fishing outfit as well as the guild fishing buffs in order to maintain +5 fishing all night to maximize your fishing speed. But yeah, fishing is definitely the one for people that don't want to spend money in the game. If you do want to spend money in the game but not too much, I would recommend processing, because processing means you need to buy weight, and weight is useful when you grind, because grinding, you're going to fill up on weight with collectibles, items, and other stuff no matter what. So having a higher weight will make your grind way easier. And then of course pet, if you're going to do active grinding in any form, which you probably are because grinding is a huge part of the game, as is PvP, then I would definitely recommend at the very least 4 tier 1 pets are the minimum for grinding. If you can, try to upgrade them to tier 2 or 3. Tier 3 are probably ideal. You can go to tier 4, but that's a huge money sink, very difficult to get. Tier 3 should be just fine for anyone, and even tier 2 aren't that bad. Tier 1s are not bad, but you will be leaving money on the ground once you upgrade your grinding speed past about 150 AP. Even 140 AP on decent classes like Wizard and Dark Knight, you will be leaving money on the ground with tier 1 pets, unless you are actively picking up the items on your own. Anyways, that's how to make money in Black Desert. Check out the links in the video, in the description, and hope you liked it.